It's only the third time that Yorkshire and London have met in a final. Here come the teams. Chelsea on the left and Leeds on the right. Chelsea in bright red tracksuit tops and Leeds in light blue. And what a tremendous welcome for them. Two of the greatest sides in modern British football, deserving every cheer that they get. There are the two skippers, Ron Harris and Billy Bremner. Billy Bremner, Footballer of the Year. Led out by two of the most professional managers in this game. Dave Sexton, oh there's Norman Hunter. The two managers, Dave Sexton, it's his first Wembley, he didn't get here as a player and he's not yet been here as a manager, and Don Revie, who came twice as a player with Manchester City. There's Don Revie on the right, and he's been here with Leeds in the FA Cup in 1965 when they were beaten by Liverpool, and again in 1968 in the League Cup when they beat the Arsenal. Two great managers who really deserve everything that comes their way this afternoon. This is Chelsea, of course. Their skipper Ronnie Harris, who has had a fortnight or so of anxiety, wondering whether his hamstring injury would clear up in time, but it has. And now Princess Margaret. This is Leeds. Princess Margaret coming out for the teams to be presented to her. Lord Harwood on the left, really in a dual role. Here's Princess Margaret again with Dr. Andrew Stephen, Chairman of the Football Association. And Lord Harwood there as well, just out of picture on the left. First is the turn of Chelsea, with Ron Harris to make the introductions. Princess Margaret in a coat of dark green, meeting Marvin Hinton, the substitute. Eddie McCready at the end of the line, you'll see in a moment. That's one of his superstitions. There's John Dempsey and David Webb. At the end of the Chelsea line, Eddie McCready, who always insists on coming out last. Leeds United themselves are riddled with superstitions as well, as the Royal Highness, the Princess Margaret, now coming across to meet Footballer of the Year, Billy Bremner. Lord Harwood coming up at the back there, the President of Leeds. For once I would think the President of the FA hardly taking an impartial seat this afternoon. Gary Sprake in the fair hair there, talking to Dr. Andrew Stephen. Dr. Stephen, of course, himself connected with a Yorkshire club, Sheffield Wednesday. And at the back there, Dennis Follows, Secretary of the Football Association. Jack Charlton at the end of the Leeds line, that's his superstition, so McCready and Charlton make a good pair. I don't know what they'd do if they played in the same side. And Don Revie, of course, and now Eric Jennings, the referee from Stourbridge. His last season as a league referee, he's had 16 years of it, and he really is one of our top men. What a climax to his career, with the linesman, Mr. Mathewson of Manchester, and Mr. Jackson of Huntingdon, and Frank Ray. Now the next thing is that the two teams will break away to get some of the tension out of their muscles, to prepare themselves for what is surely their most important match of the season. Neither side has won the cup. Leeds have been here, as I said, in 1965 when they lost to Liverpool. Chelsea were here in 1915 when they lost to Sheffield United, and again in 1967 when they lost to Tottenham. So whatever happens today, providing the match is decided, a new name will go on the cup. Peter Osgood, 28 goals to his credit this season, and probably the biggest worry to Leeds. There's the Chelsea side then. Without Alan Hudson, it means that Tommy Baldwin comes in at 7. And a slight shuffling there, which takes Charlie Cook wearing the number 11 shirt. It'll mean that Houseman at number 8 will be playing not on the wing as we often see him, but as a very effective midfield player. There's Peter Bonetti. And Leeds United, with Norman Hunter happily restored to the number 6 shirt, having missed the last 8 games with an injury, a knee injury. Leeds then, apart from Paul Madeley, are at full strength with, apart from Paul Reaney rather, are at full strength with Paul Madeley, number 2, coming into their defence. Alan Clark, who was man of the match here in the final last year, playing for Leicester City against Manchester City. And Eddie Gray, a young Scot, made his first appearance for Scotland here, in fact, at Wembley last year. Johnny Giles, who will work in midfield with Bremner. This is where there is so much power in this Leeds United side, and understanding between Giles and Bremner. Giles, of course, the ace penalty taker, and Big Jack. In fact, there's hardly a flutter in the flags, and so there's no advantage so far as the wind is concerned. It looks very much as though Ronnie Harris won the toss for Chelsea. A whole bevy of photographers now to be cleared from the pitch. And that'll be the camera that we're using from behind the goal, above the tunnel. Referee Eric Jennings, a grandfather. He's 47 years old, as I say, his last season on the Football League list. And it'll be Leeds then to get us away. All in white, Chelsea in blue with white stockings. Leeds with red stockings. And so the final of 1970 is underway. Jack Charlton. And this is Macready. Thought for a moment about putting it back to Bonetti, but Jones was advancing too quickly. Dempsey, the Irishman. Billy Bremner to Hunter, and through to Peter Bonetti. More than 450 appearances for Chelsea, this fella. Johnny Giles and Cooper. Collins to Ware, and back to Bonetti from Dempsey. Chelsea, of course, who've had a wonderful start in their last 2 rounds of the Cup against Queen's Park Rangers in the 6th round, and Watford in the semi-final. Cook, still Cook, and now for Houseman, and he stopped, thinking that Madeley would get it. Madeley missed it, and Houseman found his fleeting chance had gone. Here's Cook, who almost set it up for Houseman. Gary Sprague. Dempsey and Jones getting to this one, and Dempsey getting head and shoulders above Jones. Giles finding Eddie Gray. Bremner, and Lorimer's free on the right. That's aimed towards Clark, and he's got Harris with him. Harris will be watching Clark. Good work by Clark, and Hollins going right back for a very disturbing situation there for Chelsea, and he did well, John Hollins. It needed somebody to take the initiative, and Hollins was prepared to do it. Lorimer with a throw. Clark trying to come away from Harris. Gray. And Webb getting it only as far as Lorimer. Bremner going outside. Lorimer. Finding Gray. Flicked on by Giles. And now Hunter. Now Osgood. But a throw then to Chelsea, who've scored 21 goals in the Cup getting here, and Osgood has scored in every round. Jeff Astle in 1968 for West Bromwich Albion was the last man to do that. And Astle, of course, also scored in that final as well, the winning goal. Johnny Giles. Oh, a bad one there. Straight for Cook. Hollins. Certain amount of hesitation there by Chelsea, and we don't normally see that. Hollins, though, finding McCready. And Baldwin. Hutchinson going in. Osgood. And the ball again not falling for Chelsea. Sprague being shadowed by Osgood. A push there, surely, by Baldwin on Gray. Don Revie, muscles twitching, and Les Cocker beside him, Sid Owen behind him. And Terry Cooper, such a good, accurate kicker of a dead ball with the free kick. Clark's going for it, Clark almost getting ahead to it, but Webb getting it away to Hutchinson. Beaten by Giles, and now it's Cooper. Shouldered Hollins out of the way there. Bremner driving forward with a shot, but neither the power nor the direction to cause Bonetti any anxiety. Bremner, of course, who scored that decisive goal in the semi-final that beat Manchester United. And Peter Bonetti with the goal kick. Finding Houseman. McCready. Hollins. Houseman. Shadowed by Madeley, and Madeley getting in. A well-timed little challenge there by Madeley, who's played in every position for Leeds except goal, and turned down Mexico, of course, this week. Now Hutchinson with the first long throw of this cup final. A man whose long throws can cause such confusion. Webb well up, but he didn't get through. Jones. And there's Hollins. Good ball there that finds Eddie Gray. Clark well up, Jones on this side of the field as Cooper takes it up again. Eddie Gray with the throw for Leeds United. Clark again trying to get rid of that shadow Harris. Giles with a shot, stopped well there by McCready. Houseman. Tremendous burden on Houseman's shoulders this afternoon with Hudson out of the side. The duty of doing so much work in midfield falls to him, with Hollins, the number 4, here now. Hutchinson. Back to Baldwin. Hutchinson trying 1-2, which never had any hope of coming off because Cooper was perfectly placed. Harassed unfairly by Baldwin and a free kick to Leeds United. Tommy Baldwin, who comes into this Chelsea side with Hudson out of it. Clark. Taken well on his body, but he's going to have Harris snapping at his heels the whole time. Bremner. Now Cook. Osgood. Bremner going in again. Very hard and very fairly as Giles brings it away. Jones off in chase. Dempsey doing his job. There's nothing fanciful about John Dempsey, but he played it safe and properly. Lorimer. Madeley well up. Webb getting it away, not far. Madeley still there in the thick of it. Now Bremner for Leeds United. Lorimer free on the right. Challenged by Cook, well back. And Cook to bring it away. Cook again. McCready. Leeds have had a week's rest, of course, and they look a totally different side that looked so lethargic, so tired against Celtic 10 days ago. There's a sharpness about Leeds so far this afternoon as Hunter puts it forward again for them. Houseman to Harris. And now to Cook. Eddie McCready. Hutchinson. And a free kick in fact given for that challenge by Jack Charlton on Ian Hutchinson. It's Eddie McCready, who had a little bit of a groin injury last Saturday but recovered very quickly from it. The man who captained the side in the absence of Ron Harris, who's been injured. McCready with the kick. Very experienced Scot for Chelsea. Hutchinson trying to get underneath it. Charlton up well. Houseman, Hollins. That's aimed towards Baldwin. To flick it on, Osgood trying to advance on it, and again Charlton's there. And Hunter to put it back to Sprague. Eddie Gray. Now Hunter. Collins backing off him. Jones very active ahead of him. Clark. That means Harris, but Clark again to Cooper. High one, and Jones getting underneath this one. Bonetti losing it and grabbing it just before Lorimer could get a foot to it. He was put under a lot of pressure, Bonetti, there. Now it's McCready. Hutchinson nicely turned inside for Osgood. To Houseman, looking for Cook, and played a little too far ahead of Cook, and so it's Cooper. And Webb to pick up that one. Peter Lorimer. Leeds at the moment looking the more confident side. There's more sparkle about them than there is about Chelsea, certainly. Now it's Gray going past Webb. Clark in the middle, calling for it in the air. Played back towards Giles on the volley. And Lorimer and Bonetti getting underneath it. And a throw to Leeds. Billy Bremner. And Baldwin with a fair bit of space. Only Osgood up with him. And 4 Leeds players are back. Still Tommy Baldwin. And Osgood by determination getting it, but not beating Charlton. Having a word to with Paul Madeley about it. As Eddie Gray takes it up for Leeds. 11 minutes gone, no score. And a free kick given to Leeds United against Webb on Gray. John Hollins. It's already quite clear that he and Houseman have a lot to do in midfield to check this Leeds United side. Coming forward is Giles with the free kick. Jack Charlton's gone right up for it as well, and Osgood's gone back with him. Lorimer with a shot. And now Houseman to Hutchinson. And a throw to Chelsea. And it's got to go back again for the throw to be taken. Well, Bonetti has been put under pressure, a lot of pressure there with that long cross that he dropped, but quickly clutched again. Now it's McCready for Chelsea. But again, Leeds coming driving forward. Johnny Giles. Lorimer with Jones outside him. Bremner. Faced by Houseman. Supported by Gray. And Giles really allowed to get to that ball before Cook, which he really shouldn't have been. Madeley to Lorimer. And Clark at the far side, Jones at the far side, Bonetti, perfect handling. And a good long throw. But Osgood finding that Charlton is with him. Clearly Leeds have designated big Jack Charlton there to keep the closest possible watch on Osgood. And in fact the free kick is given to Leeds. Cooper again to lift it into that Chelsea penalty area. Charlton has gone right up. Jack Charlton trying to get underneath it, but it's McCready now. It's Madeley to put it back in again. Clark offside. Oh, beautiful work by Bonetti. But the linesman's flag was up on the far side. Bonetti wasn't to know from that header by Clark. McCready. Dempsey played first time and sensibly to Cook. Houseman's gone roaring on ahead. Hollins is waiting for the burst as well. Here's Hollins. Badly flicked there, aiming for Osgood but finding only Leeds United. And so it's Eddie Gray. Bremner to Madeley. Peter Lorimer. And Billy Bremner. Flicked on by Giles and away by Webb, and as well that he did because Jones was poised behind him. Now it's John Dempsey. Baldwin off in pursuit and he flicked that in nicely, and Hutchinson going like a train for it, but beaten to it by Cooper. Gray. Lorimer, he'll play that to Bremner, and Bremner finding his ally in midfield, Johnny Giles, leaving it to Gray. Cook losing that challenge to Madeley, Madeley finding Lorimer with a shot. Oh, good work there by Bonetti. From the moment that Madeley shrugged off Cook and found Lorimer, the man with that really fearsome shot, Chelsea were in a bit of trouble, and Bonetti got him out of it brilliantly. Jack Charlton on the goal line, and Eddie Gray with a corner. Dempsey trying to get underneath it, but Bonetti getting there first. Throw that finds Cook. Hollins, and Houseman's gone sprinting on. The linesman kept his flag down. Baldwin going in for one of those near post crosses, and beautiful work there by Madeley. It needed to be good. That really was a good near post cross by Houseman. And a good brave dive there by Baldwin as well. Now right in the thick of it. Here's Houseman. And it's Cook with the corner for Chelsea. Giles. And a long one to find Jones. To Lorimer. Gray. Giles. And Peter Lorimer once more. Webb, a little unlucky to find that that's coming back so quickly. Hollins. Harris. And Osgood. To Peter Houseman. Chelsea picking it up a little bit now. Osgood with Hollins free outside him. Good long kick there by Hollins. And a little bit of hesitancy there in the Leeds defence. No one really wanted to go for it, and Cook was going hard for it, so Sprague had to in the end. Houseman to Osgood. And a little flick there to Baldwin. Cooper almost committing himself, but Baldwin finding Cook. There's a cross by Cook. Hutchinson with a header. Leeds having an eye very much on Osgood. Jack Charlton was keeping a close watch on Osgood. I think they tended to look at Osgood a little too much and not perhaps enough at Hutchinson. Cook. Giles. Leaving it for Bremner. Now Giles. Madeley. To Lorimer. Clark. Giles. With Bremner alongside him. Still Billy Bremner. Down he goes. Play on, says the referee. No, he doesn't. Thought for a moment that he hadn't given that, but he had, and he had to. And so a free kick to Leeds just outside that Chelsea penalty area. Played quickly to Lorimer. Almost before Chelsea were aware of it. Certainly Webb was, and it was as fortunate for Chelsea that they were. Dempsey. Now Hutchinson. Charlton herring back for all he's worth. Still Hutchinson. Now Hunter is facing him. Houseman. McCready. A little flick there, but well taken from David Webb. Jones for once getting above McCready. Eddie Gray. The game really opening out a bit now. Giles. Clark. To Lorimer. A long one that Jones will go for. Dempsey's underneath it as well. Finally, it just flicks off the top of Dempsey's head. Enough to give Leeds United the corner. Jackie Charlton up on that goal line again. And Eddie Gray with the corner. Bremner right up too. The same towards Jack Charlton. Kick. No, it's a goal! Jack Charlton in fact got a head to it. And a Chelsea player, John Hollins I think it was, missed the ball on the goal line. And it couldn't have gone more than a yard over the line. Minutes gone, Leeds a goal ahead. Now Cooper. Well, that really is a terrible blow for Chelsea. So another free kick then to Leeds United. It really is up to Chelsea now to fight their way out of this awkward position as Hunter to Clark and Gray. Hutchinson, Baldwin. Linesman's put his flag up for a free kick, I think, to Chelsea. Given against Norman Hunter, and referee Eric Jennings having a word with Hunter. And with Osgood. And there's a smile there too. David Webb with the kick for Chelsea. Eddie Gray to Johnny Giles. Bremner and Webb. Jones going in, but Dempsey again getting there first. Gray with a throw. Clark. And Gray putting it across again. Houseman not quite getting to it. Bremner. And now Houseman. Oh, beaten there by Bremner, who finds Jones. But the referee not liking the way that Bremner beat Houseman. And so Chelsea get the free kick. Peter Lorimer. And Madeley has gone storming down that right for Leeds United. Very dangerous indeed for Chelsea. Clark trying to get to it. Gray! A comment now from Jimmy Hill.
Well, Chelsea obviously have been suffering from Wembley nerves, and there's no question about it that affected them. And if they didn't conquer them after 15 minutes, then they were going to lose a goal, and they paid that penalty. And it showed up so clearly in the way they gave away that goal. Two of them could have kicked it off the line, and they didn't. Their knees were knocking, and they let it go in past them.
But Leeds, meantime, have settled into a very, very impressive rhythm so far. John Hollins with a throw for Chelsea. And now Johnny Giles. Clark finding Jones. Still Jones. And a goal kick. Don Revie, no doubt happy to be a goal up, but a darn sight happier if they can hold that to the end, I would think. Revie, of course, who has tremendous respect for this Chelsea side, so he will know that it's by no means over yet. Hutchinson to McCready. Osgood looking for it, beating Jack Charlton in the air. Hutchinson, by sheer determination, getting to that before Bremner. But Jack Charlton and Cook having a tussle, and Cook winning that one. Houseman with a very slack ball indeed. And now Eddie Gray. Mick Jones to Terry Cooper. And Dempsey. Giles back to Gray. And Harris getting there before Clark. And now Tommy Baldwin. Hutchinson off in chase and Hunter shadowing him. Good play there by Norman Hunter for Leeds. To Giles, with Leeds at the moment looking by far the better side. Baldwin. Osgood. Now a challenging run. Will he take on Jack Charlton? Bremner is buzzing behind him. But it's Hollins with Cook closing in at the far post. Houseman with a header, but he didn't really get any power behind it. Gary Sprague, who really hasn't been troubled so far in these opening 26 minutes, with Leeds leading by a goal to nil. Jones beating Dempsey in the air. Jones to Lorimer. A long searching ball to look out Gray. Webb is with him. Eddie Gray. Oh, and he's gone past Webb again. And again Eddie Gray. Now Hollins, and a shot, which in fact looked better than it was, I think, and it angered his teammates in the middle, Lorimer and Jones, who are wanting something aimed towards them. Houseman. Very strong block tackle there between Hollins and Lorimer won it. And now it's Giles. Lorimer with a shot. But I think that was perhaps a little too ambitious even for a man with his power of shot, Peter Lorimer. Chelsea's throw. And now Leeds United's throw, with Bremner keeping such a close watch on Hutchinson. Here's Billy Bremner. Giles. Jones to Lorimer. Houseman to Osgood. And now to Hutchinson, with Baldwin outside, a little flick that finds Hollins. Greedy free up the left, and that's the one he's played. Same towards Hutchinson, but I don't think he'll get ahead there before Cooper. And now Mick Jones. To Lorimer. Always seems to be so much more room when Leeds United are coming forward than there is when Chelsea come forward. And now it's Bremner. And there's another gap for Madeley. Turned in low and away by Webb, but only as far as Bremner again. Faced by Cook. Baldwin closing in on it. Hollins to Houseman. And now a good pass there for Hutchinson. Osgood in the middle, and Cooper's come across to take it. He wants it in the air, and Osgood going in, but Sprague always in command. In fact, Chelsea's football has that same ponderous look about it that it had for the first half of their semi-final when they were held to 1-1 against Watford. They really exploded in the second half, and at the moment they're leaving themselves a fair bit to do from now on, with half an hour gone, and Leeds this 1-0 into the lead, scored by Jackie Charlton. Osgood to Harris. Hollins has gone well forward, and he's found Cook, and Cook in turn, can he further? No, he can't, can Houseman. Couldn't quite race onto that one. Cooper to Bremner. Webb finding Houseman. To Cook. Still Cook. To Osgood with a shot. And Sprague covering it, although it was bouncing a bit awkwardly on that uncertain turf. Sprague body behind it. Lorimer to Jones. And now to Giles. Gray, and he's beaten Webb again. Webb's having quite a difficult afternoon there against Eddie Gray. Dempsey to McCready. Houseman. A long one to set Baldwin off in chase. Cooper covering. Can Baldwin get behind them? And Sprague eventually hacking that one away. Webb. Baldwin. And now McCready. Played nicely there for Cook. Hutchinson wanted it at the far side, and a bad one there by Cook. He won't be at all pleased with that one, Charlie Cook. He had so much room. And neither, I suppose, will this man, Dave Sexton. Marvin Hinton, the substitute, there with him. In the Scottish Cup final, we understand that Aberdeen are leading Celtic by a goal to nil, scored by Harper from the penalty spot after 27 minutes. Aberdeen 1, Celtic 0 in the Scottish Cup final. Now Bremner. Jones. Watched very closely again by Dempsey. Bremner always available on the edge of that Chelsea penalty area when a move looks like breaking down. It's Bremner again. Giles to Bremner, and still Leeds have this sharpness. Clark and Harris playing the ball from behind, says referee Jennings, and so it's a throw and not a free kick. Clark is pained, and Bremner brought down as Hollins and Houseman between them try to get that ball away. Free kick then to Leeds United in a position where Johnny Giles can float one, and that means that Jack Charlton's gone up again. But he didn't float that one very well. Perhaps he'll do better with this one. Charlton trying to get underneath it. Jones is well there too. Hutchinson right back. Hunter. Dempsey rising well again. We're playing that too far ahead for McCready. Baldwin. Away goes Lorimer again. Clark, Gray and Jones in the middle. That's going towards Clark, and Bonetti had to use his fists. Harris, the skipper. Madeley beaten by the bad bounce on this pitch. But a good pass there that finds Gray. Gray with determination that Chelsea so far really haven't been showing. Osgood to Hollins. Peter Houseman. And Hutchinson going for this one, but Jack Charlton getting ahead there before him. Osgood. And Bremner going in hard on him, but Osgood finding Baldwin. And a corner to Chelsea off Terry Cooper. Well, that may put this fellow under a little bit of pressure now. Gary Sprague. John Dempsey's gone right forward. Osgood number 9 is there. Tommy Baldwin on the goal line. Lacking the inches of Jack Charlton, but he can still make a bit of a nuisance of himself there. There you see number 5. John Dempsey right up for this corner from Peter Houseman. Osgood and Hutchinson trying to get underneath it, and Sprague. Superb handling again by Gary Sprague for Leeds. Billy Bremner. Giles. to Gray. And now to Cooper. What a good burst there by Cooper. And plenty of white shirts up for him, and McCready to head it away. Only as far as Hunter. Leeds really pressurising Chelsea with a number of men there pushing forward now. Giles, and it's Madeley who's gone in on the blind side, or rather Hunter. And a corner then to Leeds. And Charlton, where he's done so much damage already for Leeds, on that goal line again, making life awkward for Bonetti, because Osgood has to come right back, so it's two men there shielding Bonetti's view. Jones leaping under it, Madeley hoping to pounce on it, and in fact does very well. Clark, and finally Hollins. Hutchinson, Hollins. This is Cook. Houseman calling for the ball, but the ball goes through in fact to John Hollins, floating it towards Hutchinson, gets ahead to it, to Osgood, with a shot! No! Off the line by Jack Charlton! At one end it went in from a similar sort of situation, and from the other end it was hooked off by Jack Charlton. And that is the closest that Chelsea have been to a goal this afternoon. Maybe that'll give them heart. Hollins. Osgood right up there. It was his devastating shot through that packed defence that almost got Leeds caught. Long ball there from Lorimer for Clark to chase, but it's a throw to Chelsea. Well, he did very well there, Jack Charlton. He scored the goal for Leeds so far, and he saved the equaliser for them just that moment ago. Hollins, now Osgood, finding Cook. Baldwin is waiting there in the middle. Still Cook, with all the skills and not quite the power.
One of the facts that were fed into the computer to enable it to make his prediction was that Leeds had more players with big match experience, and I think that it's that feature that's telling off more than any other in this first half. Without any doubt, they have settled. They are playing their normal game, and Chelsea up until now have not.
Dempsey finding Houseman. Dempsey, who's missed so little in the air at the back for Chelsea this afternoon. Lorimer, a long one forward, but a fairly hopeful one, because Harris is there. Bonetti is with him, and my goodness, Harris, just that little bit edgy, just the sort of thing that Jimmy Hill was talking about, almost giving away the corner. Baldwin finding Webb. Hunter to Giles. Once Leeds United get their noses in front, they really become such a difficult side to beat, and Chelsea are finding that for sure now. But there's a free kick for them, given against Jack Charlton on Osgood, coming in behind Osgood without really very much hope of playing the ball. And so referee Eric Jennings gives the free kick, which Harris takes. McCready. Hutchinson trying to flick it, backhead it. But it's gone to Houseman with a shot, and a goal! Oh, terrible mistake there by Sprigg! And Houseman has scored the softest of equalisers. Mick Jones falls to his knees in despair. 1-1. What a tragedy for Sprigg.
Well, there it is now. There's the shot, and you can see Gary Sprigg going down. He looks to have it covered, but it's another soft goal, the second in this final.
And looking at that again in slow motion, absolutely reminiscent of one of Wembley's greatest and most controversial goals, the one that won the Cup for Cardiff in 1927 when they beat the Arsenal. And there's Osgood and Hunter having a right flick up there in the middle of the field. Hutchinson there was involved, And now Baldwin. And now Bremner. And Clark going on ahead and McCready getting it away. Hunter not very popular at the moment with the Chelsea fans, but now it's Eddie Gray. Giles. Cooper. Showing tremendous tenacity. Still Cooper! And now can it go through to Giles? And no, it's Webb in fact. Happy to put that one away for a corner. That was a very good run there by Cooper. He used to be a winger, of course, and he showed all a winger's tenacity there and courage. Osgood to get it away, but only as far as Cooper. Clark flicking it on, and McCready this time getting it away. To Hutchinson, as this cup final really comes to life now. Baldwin to take it up for Chelsea. Cook made a good run, which nobody noticed. And it's Sprake. Poor Sprake, how he must be feeling. Dave Sexton, no doubt, very relieved to see that soft goal bringing Chelsea level. Houseman. And now Osgood. Trying to flick it off from Baldwin, and Hunter was covering him, and now Madeley. Eddie Gray. Clark is free over on the left. Still Eddie Gray. Good work by Gray, and superb saving again by Peter Bonetti. Bonetti not very happy with the covering he was getting from that defence. But Gray coming forward there looked irresistible. So a corner then to Leeds United. Charlton faithfully gone forward again. There he is, and Osgood number 9 back with him. Quite a little clutch at that near post. Gray. And Gray again. Floating one here towards Madeley, but Dempsey getting his head to it for Chelsea. And again doing the safe thing. Paul Madeley. Gray trying to get underneath it, flicking it on. Webb getting a foot there well for Chelsea. They seem to have sharpened up and been given fresh heart with that equalising goal from Houseman. 1-1 as we stand now with just a half minute to go, plus a little bit of injury time to the end of this first half. Again Dempsey getting up, but both he and Jones missing that one. Webb. Hutchinson. Surely shouldered off the ball unfairly there by Hunter, and in fact the whistle has gone for a free kick to Chelsea. Much relieved Chelsea skipper, and John Dempsey with the free kick for Chelsea. Hutchinson flicking it on, beating Jack Charlton. Baldwin is right there as well, and so is Cooper. Gray then to bring it away for Leeds. Johnny Giles for Eddie Gray. Hollins closing fast on him from the back. Giving away the free kick? No, it's half-time. So half-time, which shows the teams level at 1-1, with Jack Charlton having scored a soft one, and Peter Houseman, here he is, number 8, equalising for Chelsea. As the bands come on and the players go off, Jack Charlton the scorer for Leeds.